Aaliyah Dana Haughton was born on January 16, 1979, in Brooklyn, New York. Her first name comes from Arabic, related to Ali, the highest, the most exalted. Her parents, Diane and Michael Haughton, later moved the family to Detroit, where she grew up with her older brother, Rashad. Detroit made her. Her mother put her in voice lessons. She sang in church, at weddings, at charity events. In first grade, she was cast in Annie, and she decided then that performing was the plan. At 10, she stood on Star Search and sang My Funny Valentine. At 11, she opened for Gladys Knight in Las Vegas. Knight had briefly been married to Aaliyah's uncle, entertainment lawyer Barry Hankerson, the man who would later build her label, Blackground Records. She kept a 4.0 grade point average. She auditioned for Detroit's High School for the Fine and Performing Arts with Ave Maria in Latin. She graduated in 1997, still carrying that 4.0, majoring in drama and telling people that if music failed, she would teach. Music did not fail. At 12, she signed with Jive and Blackground. Hankerson introduced her to R. Kelly, then one of the hottest writers in R&B. He wrote and produced her debut, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, released in 1994 when she was 15. The singles hit. Back and Forth went top 5 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart. Her cover of the Isley Brothers' At Your Best went top 10. The album went double platinum in the United States. Then, the story turned dark. In August 1994, when Aaliyah was 15 and Kelly was 27, a marriage license was filed in Illinois listing her age as 18. The marriage was later voided. Both publicly denied it at the time. Years afterward, documents, lawsuits, and testimony established that the relationship was real, illegal, and part of a pattern that would eventually send Kelly to federal prison. Aaliyah cut ties, left Jive, and rebuilt. That rebuild became One in a Million in 1996. Timbaland and Missy Elliott gave her a new sound. Space, stuttering drums, whispered cool. If Your Girl Only Knew, the title track, 4-page letter, hot like fire. The album sold millions. She was no longer a teenager standing in someone else's shadow. She was the center of a new R&B language. She kept expanding. She sang Journey to the Past for the Anastasia soundtrack and performed it at the Academy Awards, one of the youngest singers ever to take that stage. Are You That Somebody from the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack put a baby's coo into a hit and earned a Grammy nomination. In 2000, she starred opposite Jet Li in Romeo Must Die. The soundtrack single, Try Again, went to number 1 on the Hot 100, the first song to do that on airplay alone. She won 2 MTV Video Music Awards for that video. She was 21. In July 2001, she released her third album, simply titled Aaliyah. We Need a Resolution, More Than a Woman, Rock the Boat. Critics called it her most adult work. It debuted at number 2. After her death, it rose to number 1. She had also filmed Queen of the Damned as the vampire queen Akasha, a role released the following year. There were plans for Sparkle, for more films, even work connected to the Matrix sequels. She was dating entrepreneur Damon Dash. She was 22, and the next decade was supposed to be hers. On August 25, 2001, after wrapping the Rock the Boat video in the Bahamas, she boarded a small twin-engine Cessna 402B at Marsh Harbour Airport on the Abaco Islands. The charter was bound for Opa-locka, near Miami. The plane was operated by Black Hawk International Airways. The pilot was Luis Morales III. The aircraft lifted off runway 27 around 6:50 in the evening, then nosed down and crashed in a marsh a few hundred feet from the runway. All 9 people on board were killed. Aaliyah, pilot Morales, bodyguard Scott Gallen, hairstylists Anthony Dodd and Eric Foreman, makeup artist Christopher Maldonado, Virgin Video executive Douglas Kratz, and Blackground staffers Gina Smith and Keith Wallace. Investigators did not find a mystery. They found a chain of preventable failures. The Cessna was substantially overweight by more than 700 pounds in early estimates, more than 900 in later calculations, and it carried one more passenger than it was certified to hold. Luggage and people were loaded so the center of gravity sat too far aft, outside the safe flight envelope. A tail-heavy small plane on a hot evening is unstable the moment it leaves the ground. The pilot was not approved to fly that aircraft on that kind of charter. He had falsified logbook hours to obtain credentials and to get the job. He had been hired only days earlier. Toxicology found traces of cocaine and alcohol in his system. He was on probation for a crack cocaine possession case. Witnesses said he warned the group that the plane was too heavy. The flight left anyway. Some later accounts said Aaliyah feared flying and may have been given a sedative before boarding. The official medical finding for her death was severe burns and blunt trauma to the head. There is no single reason in the sense of fate. There is a reason in the sense of cause. An overloaded, out-of-balance airplane flown by an unqualified, impaired pilot after a rushed departure the passengers wanted and the aircraft could not safely make. A private funeral was held on August 31, 2001, at the Church of St. Ignatius Loyola in Manhattan. Hundreds came. Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Gladys Knight, and others filled the pews. She was entombed at Ferncliff Cemetery in Hartsdale, New York. What survived was the work, the whisper vocal, the tomboy luxe style, the videos that felt like weather instead of plot, the template she left for every singer who wanted to be both soft and untouchable. More Than a Woman later went to #1 in the United Kingdom, the first time a deceased female artist had done that. New generations still find One in a Million and Try Again and decide the 1990s had a secret center, and her name was Aaliyah. She lived 22 years. The record is short, the echo is not.